Now, you may not know this, but you are not going to be the best bench presser that you can be if you don't have a plan. If you don't have a plan, all you're doing is essentially planning to fail. You've probably heard that before, but it's true. Now, as a 260 kilogram bench presser, I understand the importance of having a structure if you want to be successful, right? Now, that includes a light bench pressing day each week, at least in my case. And I think you should do that too. Now, yes, it's a lot more fun to go to the gym and to just max out every single time you train. I admit that. I think we can all admit from time to time, yes, it's fun, and yes, that's okay sometimes, right? But it's gonna be not fun very quickly once you start getting injured, hitting plateaus, and just fucking going nowhere with your training. And if you want to avoid that, I suggest you watch this video. Now, for today, this is my lighter day, okay? It's not gonna be light by most people's imagination. It's gonna be 3 plates each side for reps. I'm gonna explain to you why it's important to have a light bench pressing day each week, as well as a heavier day. You still get to go heavy each week, just not a fucking max. You gotta have a plan, you gotta have structure if you wanna be successful. But also, today I wanna show you a session that you can do, or you can do it with any session you have in your program, but if you may be a little bit short on time, or you wanna just increase the intensity of the session, in my instance, it's a lighter day, so I like to increase the intensity to make everything a little bit more difficult, and it's also not bad for your heart, for your health, to get the heart rate up and to push yourself in that sense, not just lifting heavy and taking 10 to 15 minutes rest, doing nothing, right? We can increase the intensity, we can increase the output, and make it a much more constructive session for your gains, which is what we want. Anyway, I've already done a set with the empty barbell. I've done 1 set with 60 already, but I always do 2 sets. So this is my second set with 60 kilos. We'll work up to 3 plates per side. And the plan originally was 3 by 12. But what I'm gonna do to make it a little bit more fun, right? Because you can do this, I'll do 2 by 10, and then I'll do like almost an AMRAP set, so almost as many reps as possible. So I won't hit failure, because I don't recommend you hit failure with bench press, squat, deadlift, anything like that, right? It can be unsafe, but it also just teaches you bad habits. We start to bench press with poor form. Once we hit failure, right, we do anything we can to get it up. Hey, shush, don't even fucking think about it. But you know what I'm saying, right? We wanna practice good repetitions as much as possible. And you wanna go to failure or beyond. We do that with the accessory work afterwards for the hypertrophy gains, right? But this doesn't hurt either. Ugh. As you can see, I've got the matching shoes for the top today, which is really important. Obviously, if you wanna be strong, you've also gotta feel good. And you don't feel good if you look like shit. Some people might think I look like shit, but I feel like $1,000,000, baby. You're just jealous you don't have these shoes. All right. Easy peasy. Now, if we're gonna make this session a little more interesting, what the plan is, we're gonna pair it, right? We're gonna pair the exercises. So, I'm gonna be pairing my pressing with pulling movements for my back. It's not a bad idea. We have to train our back anyway if you want a big bench press. So, just another warm-up set, because that's only a warm-up set. But what I'm gonna be doing here, I like to think of it as a reverse bench press. Okay, so I lean back, yes, it's a lat pull down, but I lean back, flare my elbows, pull it in to my lower chest, which is, you know, suspiciously like a reverse bench press. So retraction of the shoulder blades, retraction and depression, baby. Shove them back and down, just like we want on the bench press. All right, so obviously that's just the warm-up set, and that'll go, you know, equally as challenging as the bench press. I'm gonna do 3 sets of each. And then we'll move on to the next movement, which will be dumbbell press. I'm going to pair that with another back movement and so forth. But I'll load another plate on now and we'll keep working up. Let's go. All right, baby. Now, before I do 100 kilos, we'll talk more about the light bench press day. Now, for me right now, the exercise I'm doing is just a regular touch and go bench press. For me, I have a goal in 3 weeks' time. I want to bench 220 kilos. For those of you who don't know, I am 4.5 months post bicep reattachment. So I'm on the mend, I'm getting better again. And that goal for me is 220 kilos in 3 weeks. I made a bit of a deal with Sebastian, AKA the Australian strength coach. And that's our goal for both of us, 3 weeks' time. So it's a little bit of a competition, right? So I think of that as I'm working towards a max bench press in 3 weeks' time. So my secondary day is going to be pretty much a regular bench press. It's going to be very specific to what I'm trying to do. All right, but let's say it's the beginning of a program and you have a light bench press day, and on your heavy day, you're doing bench press. On your secondary day, I recommend you do a variation, right? I recommend you maybe don't necessarily just do a flat bench press, touch and go. Maybe you do some tempo work. Maybe a 3-second eccentric. Maybe you do some spotto press, where you bring it down, you pause it off your chest for 1 second, and then you press, right? Those things are excellent for working on certain parts of the technique, working on time under tension, and just, trying to ingrain really good habits with your bench press. Those movements are excellent. Or alternatively, you could set up like an incline and do an incline bench press, because again, it's important that we're strong on multiple angles, okay? As a whole, working on your incline bench press will have some carryover to the bench press. But, we think about it, if we're getting close to testing the flat bench, we don't really need to be doing the incline bench. That's why it's better off early in a program. So if you're doing a 12-week program, a 16-week program, you might do that for the first 4 weeks. The next 4 weeks, you may do flat tempo work. And then for the last 4 to 8 weeks, your secondary day may just be regular bench press again now, but it's going to be the lighter day of the two. I hope that makes sense. If you ever run any of my programs, that's kind of how they look. The secondary day is usually a variation bench press, unless it's close to max testing or competition. 100 kilos now. We'll go 4 to 5 repetitions. I'll do one more warm-up set before I do my working sets. That's the plan. Let's go. Easy peasy. I'm going to go and do another warm-up set over there. I won't film that one, but I will film them when I'm doing the working sets, because I do want to explain some very important things to you. I'll load another plate, one more warm-up, let's go. All right, gang, let's talk junk volume. You've probably heard of junk volume before. What is it? Let me give you a little bit of an example. Let's say you've done 5x5 on bench press. Let's say you've done 3x10 on flat bench press, right? What would you do after that in a session? Now for me, dumbbell pressing. The way I program all my lifters, we do a barbell movement, a pressing movement, then we do a dumbbell pressing movement. Now what you're gonna not see in any of my training, any of my lifters training, is flat barbell press and then moving on to a flat dumbbell press. You're doing exactly the same thing. If you've done 30 repetitions, 3x10 or 25 repetitions of 5x5, and let's say it's relatively challenging, I think doing more flat pressing is waste. It's junk. It's junk volume, right? Now, what's better than doing a flat dumbbell press after flat bench? Incline dumbbell press, overhead dumbbell press. Want to change the stimulus a little bit, right? We can still get work in, but we're going to change the stimulus. We're going to keep gains coming, and arguably by doing junk volume, you're only going to be delaying the recovery process, meaning you're not going to get bigger and stronger. You're just going to be recovery all the time, or in recovery all the time, feeling beat up, feeling sore, feeling weak. Okay, so junk volume bad. right? Now, I even would say I rarely program flat dumbbell press at all. The only exception for that is, I would say, my strongman athletes who don't do a lot of flat barbell pressing, right? A lot of their pressing is incline and overhead. There's not a lot of bench press strongman events, if any, okay? If they do them, generally they're standing up and pressing like this. It's not exactly the same as a bench press, but it's similar. But when you think about it, it's overhead work, it's log pressing, and when you're with a log, you're here. So yes, it's somewhere in between incline and overhead. So that's why they do flat dumbbell press, to offset the junk volume of just doing more incline and overhead work. They're still getting stimulus, they're still getting stronger. So it's just important, really, at the end of the day, that you distribute the workload amongst flat pressing, incline pressing, and overhead pressing. And I think everyone's gonna be happy, everyone's gonna be getting jacked, everyone's gonna be getting laid. I hope. I hope. You do have to have, I guess, at least some charisma and personality, or at least a lot of money. Either way, you'll get laid, just keep at it. Anyway, 130, I'm not gonna worry about a belt or wrist straps for this. It's a relatively light day for me. That's maybe a bit lazy, but I have 3 working sets with 3 plates. Hit this for a double now, and then I'm gonna get a handout for my top sets as well, just because getting a handy is helpful on the bench press. It allows you to stay in position. You know, when you unrack yourself, yeah, it's hard to stay in the right position. So when you can get a handout, use it, even if it's only light for you. You know what I'm saying? 2 reps. This is easy. Let's go. Yeah, buddy. I'll do one more warm-up set of lat pull downs, and then we'll start our working sets. Like this video, drop a comment and subscribe. I would appreciate it. All right, baby, first set, 10 repetitions here, and then after this, we're off to the lat pull down to do a set of 10. We have 3 sets total. For the last set, we'll try and get some extra repetitions, and I will see how many we can do. Let's go. Yeah, buddy. Let's go. All right, so now what we do, come over to the lat pull down. Now you don't just go finish the bench press set, jump straight on the lat pull down. I would take 60 to 90 seconds. You don't have to take as long as you would between bench press sets, because we're working opposing muscles. So you don't need to be fully recovered, but you still want to have, you know, enough energy so you can perform a set at a high standard, right? So it's been about 60 seconds. I'll do a set of 10 here, and then I'll take more of a full rest period before I do that again. So I can keep that standard high. But if I was to just do this set, then wait 60 to 90 seconds, I would struggle to get 10 repetitions for consecutive sets, right? We still need to aim for the 10 reps. It's not about just rushing and then the bench pressing going to shit. Just increasing the intensity a little bit, but still maintaining the standard you need to get better. There's a difference. All right, now with this variation as well, remember, I'm using a lat pull down, yes, but I've spoken about this in different videos. This is my favorite way to train the other muscles of the back that aren't the lats. So you can take the lats out of it by leaning back, flaring the elbows, who hit the mid trapezius, the lower trapezius, and the rhomboids, you know, a little harder. Yes, the lats are still working, but I want to target the lats for my next exercise. But for me, this is my favorite exercise for the upper back when it comes to not only building muscle, but assisting my bench press. because you'll see it looks like a reverse bench press at the position on my chest. So lean back. One more. Squeeze. Yeah. Cool, right? I'll do 2 more sets of that, but the final set of that, I'll take it to failure. Similar to this, I'm not gonna take bench press to absolute failure because barbell movement, high risk of injury, shit happens, but lat pull down, that's a machine, man. You can go fucking hard. I'll take a few minutes, we'll do the next set. And before I do the next set, I just wanted to really hammer this fact in, right? Light bench pressing can still make you stronger and will make you stronger. Okay, like maybe not as directly as heavy bench pressing, but remember what we're doing this for, all right? One, with a lighter load, we should expect much better technique. When we're using close to perfect technique, we're building good habits that do carry over to the heavy bench press. Okay, now secondly, doing, let's say, lighter weights may allow for us to use higher volume, more mechanical tension, more stress on the muscles, which means more growth. Okay, so we can use these lighter days to focus a little bit more on hypertrophy. Now, bigger muscles means more potential for strength. So if you're a big guy and you're full of fat, and you're a big guy full of muscle, the guy with muscle has more potential to be stronger, to lift more weight. Okay, so we've got to think about it as building blocks for the main event, because you can't just bench heavy all the time. You'll get injured, you'll plateau, you'll just get weaker. I've been there before. We've all made those mistakes. I definitely have. Okay, I've been doing this over a decade. I've made the fuck ups, I've made the mistakes, I've done the shit you shouldn't do, and now I'm trying to save you a whole bunch of time and effort. Now you can just do the shit that works. So having one slightly heavier day, one lighter day, keeping in mind that you shouldn't be hitting absolute maxes for either of those days, at least on a regular basis. Maybe once a month? Sure, why not? But the more you do it, the weaker you will get. We don't get stronger by testing our max. Testing our max actually makes us weaker, right? It actually fatigues us. Hit your max one day, go to the gym the next day, you're fucked, right? We need to build, and then test once we're stronger. Simples. Next set coming up. Set 2, let's go. Come on, baby. Yeah, buddy. Ooh. One breath. Let's go. Woo! We'll go even heavier for the next one, and we'll aim to do as many reps as possible. One more set of bench, baby, let's go. All right, gang, now I'm about to do my third and final set of this bench press. Now my goal here, I would be happy with more than 12. I'd be okay with more than 12, but ideally 15 repetitions. That would be a lovely milestone to hit, obviously post-surgery. My best with 15 reps is 180 kilos when I was healthy before my surgery. So we're working our way back there, but getting 15 with 3 plates would be really cool right now. I'd be happy with that, especially after 2 sets of 10 already. So kind of have my eyes on that, but we'll see how we go. I don't want to go to failure. So if we get to 14 and I don't think there's going to be a 15th there, I have to have the discipline to rack it. That's the goal. And then I'll finish with 1 hard set of lat pull downs. We'll move on to our secondary pressing movement and our secondary pulling movement, which is one of these ones, and not one of these ones. That's way later. Way later. You know what I'm saying? But we'll hit this now and we'll chat. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Come on. Yeah, buddy. Easy! Let's go! That was good. That was easy. All right, baby, so final set of these. I'm stoked with the bench, but we'll talk about that in a sec. We'll go like 15 to 20 reps with this one until I can't perform anymore with reasonable technique. I wasn't even getting it back towards my chest anymore, so that's failure, you know, before my technique actually turned to full shit where you try and do that to get it down to your chest, right? Fuck me. Anyway, I'm gonna do my next movements, so we'll chat in a sec. Let's get it. All right, gang, now I'm moving on to my accessory work after all of that. Went really well, really happy with the 2x10 on the bench with that set of 15, which was surprisingly easy for the third set. So making really good progress on the bench. I'm happy, but now we have to finish the session. So what I'm gonna do here is more of a vertical push. So an overhead press with dumbbells. Okay, now I'm using full range of motion, full stretch, full contraction. I think that's very important if you want to be healthy, strong, and balanced as a lifter and as a human being. And we're gonna pair that with another back movement. We're gonna do a seated row, but targeting the lats. So we're gonna be really keeping the elbows nice and tight to the body, which is gonna emphasize using the lats, right? I've already done one warm-up set of each. I like to do one warm-up set with a slightly lighter load that I'm planning on using for my top sets, just to get a feeling for the movement, because we've gone from flat benching to overhead, and it's very different. So just one little warm-up set, but now 2 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions, and I'll match that with the rows. But this is the heaviest that I've pressed overhead since my surgery, and the hardest part really is getting the dumbbell up to my fucking shoulder. So we'll see how we go. Let's get it, baby. Whew. Come on. And we'll go over here, nice and slowly. So with this one, as I said, targeting the lats, because with our first back movement, although it was a lat pull down, it was more targeted towards the trapezius and the rhomboids. Whew. All right, if you're still watching, make sure you've liked this video, drop a comment, let me know what you've learned, and of course, subscribe to your mum's favorite channel on YouTube, Cult Strength. Whew. Let's go. Whew. So as you see, pulling it in lower, and my elbows are at my side, was targeting my lats. If I was rowing up here with my elbows out, it's the traps in the middle and the rhomboids, but not so much the lats. So keep that in mind. One more set. Whew. Let's go, baby. Whew. Big PBs today for me. Shoulder press was the one thing that was really fucking hurting, and it still is a bit sore just due to the lack of stability that I had, you know, post-surgery, but it's getting stronger each week. Short break, one more set of seated rows. Still building, you know, tolerance back with the bicep as well. Pulling movements are where it's going to be most at risk. You know what I'm saying though, so this is something that I'm just increasing slowly each week. That's all I have to do that for a little while, and I'll be back to where I was. Because we're getting close, baby. It's coming back quick. Let's go. Ooh, baby. Oh, baby. A bit of cardio today, you know what I'm saying? Like the heart rate's up, man. Like normally, yeah, you do a set, you might take 4 minutes. If you're really strong, you might take 8 minutes between sets. And your heart rate doesn't really go anywhere. You don't get a sweat up. But doing it like this, you feel like you really accomplished something. Your heart rate's up, but a filthy pump as well. Who doesn't love a pump? All right, baby, now we're finished with that. We're gonna get a shoulder pump. Now, I don't know about you, but after bench press, I like to get a filthy shoulder pump. We're already halfway there, right? We may as well finish the fucking job. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna pair a lateral raise with a dumbbell. I'm gonna do it seated, right, for the side delt. And I'm gonna be hitting a face pull with a cable. With the face pull, the idea is we pull our elbows up as high as we can, depending on your mobility. Mine sucks a little bit, especially right now. We want to pull elbows high as if you're pulling the cable in towards your eye level, and that's going to be more so to hit the rear delts. Other muscles in the back as well, but it's really going to target the rear delts, and that's why I'm doing it, right? I'll show you just one set of this because this is maybe a little bit boring now. It's not as fun as the pressing, but I'll show you so you understand what I'm doing, and so you can do it too. And then we'll finish off with some triceps and some biceps, because triceps, they're important for pressing, and biceps, yeah, I mean they are. I've come to realize they're actually important for stability with pressing, but they also look good. So if you do want to be strong and look strong, you should train your arms. I neglected mine for a lot of years, and now I'm a little bit sad about it, so I've got to catch up. Let's go. We'll go say, we'll aim for 15 reps or so. Relatively heavy with these. And the next set, I'll aim for 20, which will be failure. It's always the last set of each that I aim for failure. So again, 15 reps here, but this is really just about controlling the movement. It doesn't have to be heavy. We're trying to not use the big muscles in the upper back. We're trying to just isolate the rear delt. So, I'm trying to pull the bands apart at the same time for more tension in the rear delt. But I'm just thinking about using only the rear delt to row the weight. Elbows high. Oh, fuck. That is super humbling. As I said, right, if your intent is correct, you don't need a lot of weight. I'm really using that mind-muscle connection to hit the rear delt and to not just use the trapezius and the rhomboids to muscle it in, right? Makes a big difference. But do one more set of that, and then it's on to arms. Let's go. All right, baby, now I'm gonna finish the session off with some triceps and some biceps. Now, the choice of exercise for today is just a basic tricep push down or tricep pull down, whatever you want to call it, just tricep extension, right? Now, I like to swap between doing just a regular tricep extension and an overhead tricep extension, but the last session I did overhead tricep, so for this one, I'll just do a push down. Now, the reason it's important to also do overhead tricep extensions or even like a skull crusher, it's just because the long head of the tricep doesn't get a load of work when we bench press. It's still working a little bit, don't get me wrong, but it gets a little bit neglected. So if you want to have a well-balanced tricep, make sure you hit some of the long head. Specifically, that's just my advice. I'm gonna do just some alternating curls today, I think, or even just dumbbell curls, up to 12 to 15 repetitions, and try and lift more than I have since my injury. Obviously, the weakest thing will be the bicep itself. I think I've worked up to 15 kilograms with a hammer curl. So today, I might see if I can do 15 with a bit of a supination at the top. So that'll be progress for me, although it's nothing crazy. I've been a lot stronger than that before, but just patience, baby. We're putting the work in. Hope you've really enjoyed this session. I'll show you one set of arms now, and then we're gonna sign out, baby. But you know I'm gonna be back in a couple of days. I think my next day is a leg day. We've got a squat day, so I might put together a bit of a video on how I warm up for squat day maybe, or if there's anything else you can think of that you wanna see revolving squat day, let me know in the comments, and if I see a good idea, then I'll make that the basis of my video. That sounds like a good plan. But I'm gonna do 3 sets each of these, but I'm just gonna film 1 set for you, and that's me done. Again, full range of motion, full stretch here, right? Keeping the elbows kind of pinned. Remember, it's the last set I'll go to failure. So I like to think of those sets, you know, the first set or the second set, as like a difficult warm-up, right? I'm just gonna do 12 and a halves for my first set, and then for my next set, I'll try for the 15s. I wanna warm up still, but again, I know this is nothing crazy, but it's my life. I'm trying to get my biceps stronger, and I have to do this shit. And yes, my right arm could do a lot more, but right now I don't see a point in letting it get further ahead. I was trying to catch the left one up. Let's go. Yeah, that's good. One more. Yeah, all right, gang. There's some reps. I'm gonna do 2 more sets of that. We'll go a little heavier, but I'm gonna see you next time. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button so you get notified when I post, because it's your mum's favorite channel on YouTube.